So the phrase goes, loose lips sink ships, and really about now all of the Batman Arkham fans are just looking for somebody to loosen their lips a little bit and talk about the game that was teased back in September, supposedly. Now, it was obviously all of those cryptic images from WB Games Montreal. Originally, they were in the short teaser on Twitter. Then they were actually pulled out and tweeted as individual images. So we know there's something there. Also, in the original tweet, we know that Scott Snyder, the original creator of the Court of Owls and the Night of Owls storylines, actually tweeted in response to it, wait for it, hashtag beware the Court of Owls, with some bat and owl emojis. Now that was deleted. We've talked about that before on this channel. I just wanted to run through a couple of recent developments with Scott Snyder, but first I want to take you back to the beginning. Now, Scott Snyder, and he may have even tweeted about it before this, but the earliest tweet I could find connecting him to the Arkham series was back in 2015, where Scott Snyder said that he was actually playing the Arkham Knight game and was very impressed by it. Now, this is kind of the first connection I can see with him to the game on Twitter. Again, I'm sure there might be something else somewhere. I was kind of digging around, not finding anything. This is what I found. So I thought that was interesting that he was appreciating the game at the time. Then, about a year ago, he actually retweeted an IGN article titled, "A new Batman game might be in the works at WB Montreal." So, Scott Snyder, while he might not be outright saying anything with something like this, he was already tweeting back about a year ago a little bit about this. And I think a lot of people forget that, myself included, when we see things like his Beware the Court of Owls newer teaser. But he's had more slip-ups than this, from fans claiming at Comic-Con that they talked to him and he mentioned Arkham games, which I cannot deny or affirm. I wasn't there, I don't know, to things we can actually see on Twitter, such as him recently retweeting a little picture that ties him back to the Court of Owls. Normally, I would not read into something like this, and I would caution other people from doing so as well, but I think the timing for it being about a month after his original tweet of the hashtag Beware the Court of Owls is interesting. This was on October 29th, and I'm surprised more people aren't stalking his Twitter, looking for every little thing. It seems like people kind of forget about his little mini leaks. He actually retweeted from 41 Strange, a Twitter user who posted pictures of them wearing owl masks. And 41 Strange had the caption, "Barn Owl Halloween Masks." Scott Snyder didn't say anything, he just retweeted it. Now, is this a little bit of a reach? Absolutely. If you want to call this a reach, 100% I agree with you. On its own, it is a reach. In the context of the wider conversation of Scott Snyder repeatedly through Twitter associating himself in one way or another with the Arkham series, along with his original reply and retweet of Beware the Court of Owls, I think it is honestly becoming more and more obvious, or at least expected, that Scott Snyder is in some minor or heavy way involved in the story development of the new Arkham game, and that it will feature the Court of Owls. This is something we've expected now for a long time. We've gone through various teases throughout the channel's history, especially the past 3 months, I would say, talking about some of this stuff. And this really, for me, is kind of just an icing on the cake thing. I don't think on its own, like I said, that it would be considered a big deal. But I think in the context of the wider conversation, Scott Snyder keeps teasing it back to the Court of Owls. So this still could be Arkham Legacy. It could be a game after Arkham Knight. We don't know. Or it could be a follow-up to Arkham Origins. Either one of those are a possibility with the court. Either timeline would work. If you remember, actually, in Arkham City, Batman mentioned secret societies when talking about Azrael to Alfred, saying, "Great, another secret society." We don't know if that's an actual reference to anything, and it's so far back that there's no way it was planned, in my opinion, at all. But I do think timeline-wise, the court could actually fit into either time. They could work either following Origins before Asylum, or they could work after night. I think either way, some creative writing is going to have to go into it, but either one could work, and if anyone could make them work, I think it is Scott Snyder. Especially if they got Paul Dini back to help consult again because of some of the weaker storylines at night. That would certainly help. So I just wanted to run this past you, see what you think about this. It's a smaller video, smaller piece of news. What do you think? Do you think this means anything at all? Do you think it's just totally worthless? We're reading into it and it doesn't mean anything. Let me know in the comments down below what your opinion is. Please, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe. That actually does help me out a lot, or share it with your friends as we keep growing and making our Bat family on this channel bigger. You're awesome. Stay shway.